Hello, welcome to our Feng Shui Q&A for today. This week we're doing some Instagram lives with some graduates and a student of Mindful Design School. So today we have Mary Ladybird of Wonder Space Feng Shui, and I'm just going to invite her on. Let's see. So, there you are. Hi, Mary. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing well.
Where's your puppy?
Oh, I was trying to get him to fall asleep before we did this, but he's right here. There he is. Say hi.
Puppy Q&A.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so nice to see you. I feel like it's been so long since I saw your face.
I know, it feels like forever, but yeah, I'm so happy to be here with you today and catching up.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. So, before we get started, can you please introduce yourself and tell everyone about your business and with all that good stuff, and then we'll get into
Absolutely. So, as Angie said, I'm Mary Ladybird. My business is called Wonder Space Feng Shui, and I'm a red ribbon professional feng shui consultant. I do remote sessions and in person. So I have people from Canada to Great Britain, California, and Boston. I'm actually based in Massachusetts. And what I love about feng shui is every consultant has their own niche and love what they do, and they incorporate what they love into the feng shui practice as well. And for me, that's creativity. So I love it because I always add some type of creative element to my feng shui. And yeah, so I use the wisdom of feng shui, kind of mixed in with spiritual coaching and space clearing to kind of create my practice.
Well, I think if everyone has to go look at your Instagram feed and check out your website, but it's really obvious that you have such an eye for beauty and elegance, and you always have to, in a good way. I love this. You can't help yourself. You got to put like a little pretty flourish on it, but like in a very elegant, tasteful way. So that totally makes sense that you have that thread of creativity that always runs through what you do. Mm-hmm. Oh shoot, I was gonna say something, I forgot. Okay. Well, but
yeah, so yeah, the whole creativity thing, I want people to know is like I do graphic design as a day job and I do this. So there's that and component. It's like, don't be afraid to go and sign up and take the courses for feng shui. And if that's a passion, if that's something that sparks your interest, just go and do that. And you can do both. And it's been a wonderful experience being able to have both.
Yeah, and then that graphic design experience really shows, but it shows in a lot of interesting ways because you've really highlighted your strengths as bringing something visual, because especially now the world is very visually focused, especially with Instagram and a lot of social media, but you really bring in like this simplicity and beauty. And one of the things I mentioned when we talked about doing this call is like, you have to talk about your mandala. Could you a little bit about it?
Yeah, so because my brain is always coming up with things and I have to explore every single thing that comes to my head, one of the ideas was pulling my crystal passion into with the bagua, which is the energy of the home that Angie talks about. And so I created what I call the lotus crystal grid. So it has the geometry of the bagua and the hexagrams, all the way along these flowers. And what I did is I got like crystals, and I would put a crystal on each bagua with intention. for that energy to open up and go into the home. So I have it on my online store, and I give it like a little pamphlet, which I just love, which has this like a script that you can follow, but you don't have to. And that's sort of like the beauty of it. Like if you're having issues with your career and you really want to focus on that and say something very personal about it as you're placing the stone on the grid to have that intention, you can do that. So it's really a beautiful little thing that I've created that I just love because I like adding, mixing in my passions.
So I actually just remembered what I wanted to tell you. There was actually someone, I did a live on, I think on Sunday, there was someone that asked if we had any consultants in Massachusetts. And I was like, yeah, we're going to have Mary on in a few days. So if that person watches this, Mary Ladybird is you're located in Massachusetts, but of course everyone can do online remote consultations. But I just wanted to let that person know. I forgot their name. They're like a podcast listener, but I was like, no, we have people. Go to our consultants page, and you're on our consultants page too.
Exactly. Yep.
So let's go back to that mandala. So like, can you walk us through like the pamphlet or like kind of your like guide before, in case someone is curious about it?
Absolutely. So on the little first page, I have it where you start the ceremony. I call it a ceremony. You started by saying, "Bless this home with these sacred stones. As the lotus unfolds, so may the chi be set free to doing healing work for me." Mm-hmm. And then you go and you place the first stone. And I have a little guide in the back showing you where each location is. So so you know where to put your stones because I didn't label it again for the beauty aspect.
I know you're.
So then, and then then you put on the next, then you put on your first stone, which for some reason I started with the careers. It's part of the Bagua. I might change that. It's in flux. But so I have sodalite in the little packet of stones. And I say, with ease and grace, I follow the flow of ever-changing waters, trusting I will land where I belong. And then you go to the next stone and say the little script. And again, like I said, this is just for people, just to get them going with it and get them started. And then they can make it whatever they want it to be. And then just ending with Namaste, so mote be, and of course our favorite Om Mani Padme Hum.
Oh, wonderful! Well, I really like that you have that guide because you and actually it makes sense that you started with con or career because you're water, right?
Exactly.
And as a water person, you really have a lot of depth of knowledge and really, I think you really love helping to direct people. So that's really your strength. So. And I think that's such a beautiful gift. What's another one that they can look at? Another stone in there.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Let's see.
Crystals.
I say that again?
Because people love their crystals.
Yes, I do. We all do. So then I have smoky quartz on Jen. Which is the mountain area. So it says, with the rise of the mountain, I see with clear eyes the wisdom of my life, the temple that is home.
Wow, I love that you brought poetry into this too.
Oh, yeah.
And the mandala is like a gold, right?
Yes, it is. It's a gold metallic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a cardstock weight. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's been really lovely. But I have green aventurine in there, citrine, carnelian, rose quartz, and then it varies, of course, due to stock. But also lapis lazuli and tiger's eye.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So I wanted to also have you share with the audience, the listeners, Like what brought you to Feng Shui? Like why? How did you get your way over here to Feng Shui?
I know every story is so wonderful and unique to everyone else. I'll give you my like medium long but a little short, somewhere in the middle story, which is I think I was born to like to do this literally. And so when I was a child, probably around 8, I remember sitting around the table with a babysitter, and she was asking my little sister and I, if you could have a superpower, what would it be? And I don't know, my sister said, "Oh, I would fly." And I looked at her and I said, "I already have a superpower. I can see air." And I'm like, "I can see it right now." And I remember seeing it. Mm-hmm. And she's like, "No, you can't. Nobody can see air." And it was like that gift just like closed up and shut down.
Oh.
And so around the eclipse season of 2016, 2017, all of a sudden it came back. And I'm like, "What is this? I have no idea." And then I had that memory. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing." And so when I was looking at what else I could do and looking at healing modalities, and nothing was really fitting for me. I'm like, "Oh no, I want to help. I know I'm here to heal. I know I'm here to do something great." But I couldn't find my niche. I couldn't find the modality that fit this. And then when someone was said, "Oh, Mary, you're really good at home organization and stuff. You really should look into Feng Shui." Mm-hmm. And it just like hit me on my head, like, "Oh, duh, yeah, of course." Like I'm seeing air, I'm seeing movement, I'm seeing the unseen energies. Of course, that makes perfect sense. And that's when I just dived in deep, really deep, and I'm all in. And it's been like that for a while now. So,
wow. Wow, so that must have been pretty difficult to have been kind of shut down like that as a 8-year-old. And what happened? And I mean, if you don't have to share it, but like you could just talk generically or say whatever you want. But what is there something that happened in 2016?
I basically had started having spiritual experiences, and just I don't know, they call it waking up or being woke or something along those lines. And I really just really dived deeper into everything that I felt like I had lost, and reclaiming it, refining it, and learning more and more every day about myself, and going through that journey. And Feng Shui was definitely part of that healing journey, for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think every time I saw you in class, you really would light up when you talked about Feng Shui, and I know it brings you so much joy to work with your clients, and I could see now that probably that's one of the things that you want to offer them as well, support with their home. So to help them, what is it like refine? What was the phrase that you said? Find yourself, to help them find themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about that. And I do see Feng Shui as a container, and our bodies are a container. And we always say, "Oh, self-care is so important. Taking time for your body, being conscious of what you're feeding your body." And then if you think about it, the home is just another container that holds your body. And so becoming conscious of what you're bringing in and out of that, and how you're helping that and healing that. Like if you're having gut issues, you'd take care of that. If your house is having plumbing issues, you'd want to take care of that too. It's like it's all about mirrors and reflecting back to what's really going on. So
like for the listeners, like what's like a common thing that you hear from your your Feng Shui clients? Like what's like something, because everyone kind of gets like a certain type of client, I think, at some point. Talking to my teachers, like Laura and I never get, I mean, not never, but we don't often get like people who want to like clear a curse or work with ghosts, but then our students do. So it's interesting, like you kind of a certain thing, and I wonder if there's like common questions that you get or that you've seen a theme with that you could share with the group.
Yeah, so for me, what's been interesting is a few people would come to me and say, "Oh, I'm really afraid, that word afraid, okay, we want to listen for that. I'm really afraid that my home is causing negative things in my life.
Mm.
And it was like, okay, that's a starting point. Let's stop there and reframe it as, Feng Shui isn't anything to be feared. It is a platform for improvement. It's like everything is where it is, and we can only make it better. So I think for me, that's like finding people where they're at and improving upon that in layers.
Well, yeah, that's true. Like there is like this like a general kind of perspective, and I would say a little bit of a misconception where people are like, well, like someone put in a question somewhere on Facebook somewhere, because I don't anyway, they were like, I have a stair in my health corner, what do I do? And I was like, well, first of all, there's not a health corner. And it depends. I need to know more about your stair and everything. I mean, you can't answer that, right?
Right.
But there is like this misconception where people really, they feel like they need to fix something in their sphere. And that's so wonderful that well, not wonderful that you get that a lot, but that but that they come to you because you have such a forgiving way of working with people.
Thank you. Yeah, I like to, be able to meet them again, just meet them where they're at and kind of go from there. And just, it is a gentle, I would consider myself somewhere in between being like a hard ass and a gentle, giant, like just kind of like pushing them a little bit, but, giving them the space that they need as well. It is, very delicate balance.
Well, you're also, you're one water, so you could be a tsunami, or you could be like a gentle, annoying drip on the.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like texting them, have you done that yet? Have you done that fix yet that I told you to do?
So are you doing a lot? So you're doing a lot of coaching? Is that what you've been working on?
It's been interesting. It's definitely like the space clearing actually aspect of it is really taking off for me. And that's been and I'm finding that I'm enjoying that more and more. Yeah, it's interesting to hear like what's coming, and I adjust to the client. So like if a client's coming and all of a sudden I'm going through their space and I'm picking up on a spirit, and I'm just like, that's never happened before. I don't consider myself a medium. So things just happen, and I guess it's just like give yourself permission just to be open to go with what the flow of whatever presents itself, because it's there for you to communicate in some way or shape or form something that they need to hear.
Well, I mean, space clearing sounds perfect for you because you can see the air, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So could you explain for the people who are listening, like what would be, well, why would someone want to space clear, and like what would be the best time to do it?
Anytime and every time you want is my answer for space clearing. So you'd really want to space clear at least once a year. But of course, I'm into it, so I do it more often. But I always ask my clients to try and do it every month, like once a month, like when the full moon comes, or set it on your calendar for on the first of whatever month, and just spend some time with your home. And for me, it's like the connection is, I love my home and I love this container that supports me and holds me, and this is my gift to you. Yeah.
And what's currently your favorite way of space clearing?
So I've been using light language. Light language has popped in.
What's light language?
Okay, yeah. So light language is almost like a channel coming from, I don't know, it's a channel if you're familiar with channels. And it's from usually higher, I don't like using the word higher, but like a certain vibration of a certain, maybe out there. It's a little woo woo. It's a little woo woo. But it just comes in as a certain vibration, and that vibration changes the energy of the home. And so you can use sound, you can use clapping your hands. I've done that when I didn't have any tools on me. So you can use language, you can use voice. You can do sage, you can do Palo Santo, and all the traditional types of space clearing. And I really like one of the space clearing techniques that you give in your Mindful Design School course, with the orangey flavor to it. So like there's so much, and because I've been experimenting with this gift that I've been given, I can see literally the change of direction of the air, the chi, what the energy, the life force, whatever you want to call it. If you, I tested, I'm like love, love. I just kept saying love, and I could see it change, and then I would see it use a different word, and I could see it change. So when you're doing feng shui and you're using your words with your intention, it really is. It's like the water. It changes, right? We know that it's been studied, with the water. If you tell water you love it, it changes a different pattern. And the air does that too. It's fascinating.
It is fascinating. Oh my gosh. Well, people are definitely going to have to check that out. And you need to do you talk about it on like your blog or something? Because I haven't heard that term light languages before.
Oh yeah, I haven't talked about it much. It's fairly new to me. It kind of came in actually when I moved into this house. It started. So interesting. But yeah, it's been about springtime when that came in, and it's so out there. I'm trying to slowly integrate it to kind of test to see how people's reactions are to it, because it is a little out there. So yeah, but yeah, I would definitely.
I think that's all over.
Yeah.
So before we close, I just wanted to see if you wanted to share, if you have any, do you have anything that you want to share that's going on over on your end of the world? I know, we shared, your mandala and you offer services, but is there anything special going on, and where can people find you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's always something going on. I'm doing a vendor table. If you're in Massachusetts, come to see me. I'm in Worcester this Sunday. I have my table set up with all my unique stuff. But yeah, and then I'm doing a health summit. So all about feng shui and your health. But you can find all that on my website, wonderspacefengshui.com. And I just wanted to take a moment to say how much I appreciate mindful design school and how much part of that is in my practice. For those of you, I've taken a few other courses, and I always felt like there was something missing. I feel like there's more, and I just don't know. And then I took your course, and it's like, this is what I was missing. This is what I was been looking for. So just, if you're on the fence about it, just do it, because it's so worth it. It's so worth it. Even if you don't do anything with it professionally, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, I think also, you're just a testament also to always having an open heart and curiosity. You're that the water philosopher, and you have the ability to hold all that wisdom. So I'm really impressed with all of the ways that you've integrated and are continually opening yourself up to new things, and also offering it to the world, and also letting that shift with what's necessary for each person. But I'm so glad. I'm also they're very touched you shared your story with us, and know that this is definitely a place where we believe you that you see this, you see air.
Oh, thank you so much.
Pearl says she believes you. She's like, of course. She's like, of course she could see air.
Yeah. And one of the wonderful things is in your course you talk about the wheel of Dharma and you have a visual. And when I saw that, I'm like, that's what air looks like. And
Oh, you never told me.
I wasn't sure if I told you that or not. Like, I need to mention that before we go. I'm like, I have to tell her the wheel of Dharma. And that's what I see when I see air. And it moves in the same motion.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Well, we can't tell people what that's about, but they have to get that, or you have to like study with someone. But just talk. You don't need to learn how to do it. Just work with Mary. She knows how she can. You need to work with someone that has spent their life or spent a great deal of time cultivating this, which is what Mary is, and so we're gonna put your handle, Wonder Space Feng Shui, in the caption, and you guys should definitely follow her. And Mary, you need to have more stuff on Instagram so we can share more.
Okay, I'll get right on that right after my full-time job, which I have to get back to. I love it.
Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for making space. And again, like, I'm really touched that you shared that story. I'm sure that actually probably touched a lot of people.
I thank you. Yeah, I was going back and forth and like, should I share it? I'm like, but you know what? I'm sure it's someone else needed to hear that today because I don't share that normally. So yeah, I hope whoever it touched, it got to whoever needed it. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And by the way, you got like way more hearts and comments than anyone that I've done a conversation with. So
awesome. Thank you everybody who joined. I really appreciate it.
Okay, have a great day.
All right. Thank you everyone. Bye. Thank you, Angie.
Bye.
Bye.